Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport. It's me, Joe, again, and I'm joined this week for the match preview with a very special guest. It's double the Joe delight. It's Joe Crossland. Joe, thank you for joining us today, and welcome back to the to Let's Talk Sport and to our preview video, our third of the season.
Thank you, Joe. Nice to see you. Double Joe delight, as you say, a treat for all of viewers. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure, mate, and it's been a frantic start to the WSL season, hasn't it? This season. And well, where do we begin with with the champions Chelsea 1-0 winners against Villa on the opening weekend, and then last weekend as well. Continuing that form on, and yeah, it's been a fantastic start. City and Arsenal playing out a controversial draw at the Emirates, and then obviously getting 3 points last week as well. Liverpool stuttering to two draws. Manchester
Yeah,
United getting two victories after the exodus they've had in the summer. It's been an entertaining start to say the least, hey Joe?
it's been really good, mate. Yeah, and it's already beginning to shape up, and we're seeing the teams who were good last year are looking like they're going to do battle again, which is exciting for everyone. Um, there's some teams who look like they might be ready to surprise people. I think Brighton and Villa have looked quite good. Um, So yeah, and then Liverpool, like you say, who did really well last season, but have stuttered a little bit at the start of this season. So yeah, lots of storylines taking shape already.
And you're a massive Matt Beard fan yourself, and you've also got a soft spot for Aston Villa. You've been to see them quite a few times.
Yeah, yeah. I was a big fan of the job Matt Beard's done at Liverpool. I think last season was terrific. They really looked good, and yeah, I thought they would be ready to kick on this season. Olivia Smith looks like a really good signing, but yeah, like you say, a couple of draws to start the season, maybe not what they were hoping for. And yeah, like you say, I've built a bit of Midlands loyalty there. I thought they looked really good against Chelsea, and we're a little bit unlucky not to nick it at the end. I don't know if you watched it, but keeper hit the bar. Keeper came up for a corner in the last minute and hit the bar, which would have been some ending, but unfortunately not. And yeah, they've looked good. They just need to get that first win under their belt, and hopefully, I think they'll do all right.
And they've got a new Dutch manager in the dugout as well.
They have. Yeah, it's a big change for them for long-serving manager Carla Ward leaving. So some tweaks to their style of play. I think they looked sort of quite neat and tidy on the ball, maybe more so than they have been. So yeah, be interesting.
So we're gonna look ahead to the fixtures now, and Saturday 12:30 kickoff. We got starting off with Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aston Villa, which both teams we just mentioned, and you said, Joe, yourself, that you think that both sides could surprise a few this season.
Yeah, I've been impressed by both of them at the start of the season. I think they both made some sort of shrewd signings. Obviously, Brighton as Frank Kirby's the headline one, and I think she's still got enough to help Brighton at that level. And certainly Aston Villa as well with Missy Kearns and Grant looks like a nice addition on the wing. So yeah, I think they both look like they'll be all right this season.
Yeah, the Joe Kearns was a surprising move. I thought Liverpool player, Liverpool fan, born and bred. It was a fairly regular outfit in the Liverpool side previous seasons, and then last season seemed to lose her way a little bit. But I think there was lots of question marks at Aston Villa losing Alicia Lehmann. She's got talent, no doubt, Alicia Lehmann, but I think last season she didn't really live up to the billing per se. Uh, and I think Bo has come in, and I think she's more than capable of taking, metaphorically and physically, that number seven shirt on.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you say, I think Lehman ended up on the bench a lot last season, and Leon was preferred to her. And like I say, this season Grant's come in from Ajax and started on the wing as well. So I think they'll be fine on that front. Um, I don't know if you want to do the score predictions now, but I've actually predicted Villa to win 2-1 against Brighton.
You've gone 2-1. I've gone for a 1-all draw.
Yeah,
Brighton, yeah, Brighton as well. Just to quickly touch on them, they didn't play badly against Manchester City last week at all, and it was that. I don't want to be harsh here. to Bunny Shaw, but a bit of like a scruffy-ish finish, wasn't it? That gave him the goal. They all count. They all count. They all
They all
count.
count, they all
Uh,
count. But yeah, no, Brighton competed, and like I say, I think they'll be good this season and cause a couple of surprises. I could have swung either way with this one, but I think my Midlands loyalty led me to choose Villa.
Midlands loyalty. And to be honest as well, I think with Brighton, is it Sake who scored the hat trick? I might be butchering that name, I might be getting it wrong. On the opening day against Everton, first player in WSL history to score a hat trick on their debut. So that's a
Oh,
statement as
really?
well. And I thought losing Turland and Robinson as
Mm.
well. Robinson, funny enough, going to
To
Aston
Villa,
Villa.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting little narrative there. I thought, massive blows going to be tough. But then, obviously, like you said, they've brought in Frank Kirby, experienced player, still got miles to go in the legs. And then, obviously, Nikita Paris from Manchester United on deadline day. What a coup that is, because she's still a young player herself.
Yeah, yeah. No, like I say, I think they made some. I think they made some shrewd signings. Really good win against Everton, like you say, and a little bit unlucky not to get something out of Man City. So yeah, I think they'll be. I think they'll be fine this season. I think they'll get a couple of nice wins and finish comfortably mid-table.
Got through mid-table. Well, I was going to say next game, but Chelsea and Manchester United were due to play this weekend, but it's been postponed due to Chelsea's involvement in the Women's Champions League on Tuesday, I believe, and they've said that they want to give Chelsea the best chance possible in Europe, which I think it's quite refreshing to see on that one. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Joe.
Um, Only that I think the WSL knew that that Champions League fixture was scheduled for them for then, and I think they've known for about a year, haven't they? So I think there might have been a bit of a mistake on the WSL side to schedule the game there in the first place. But yeah, I think it's the right decision to postpone it.
Right decision, I agree. And then the next game, Sunday, the first one of the Sunday billing is Manchester City versus West Ham United, Joy Stadium, 1 o'clock kickoff. And I think we're all probably going to go for the same sort of scoreline in this one, with all due respect to the Hammers.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to see West Ham getting anything out of this one. I've gone for a 3-0 City win. I think it'll be very comfortable for them.
Yeah, I've gone 4-0 as well. So very, very similar in the score lines as well.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, I have to say, I think West Ham might struggle a bit this season.
in my predictions video, which you can watch on this channel for this season, I did have West Ham finishing bottom ahead of Crystal Palace because but I think Palace has started poorly this year, but I just thought they might just play a bit of gung ho football and just give it a go. I just thought with West Ham losing Mackenzie Arnold, which has proven to be a big blow so far, uh, as well, and Hayashi leaving as well. I think it's as well as Sissoko. I think big players leaving, big personalities in that dressing room. It's gonna tell. It's gonna tell. And they haven't had the greatest of starts. They did nick a point last week against Liverpool by from UAK, but I think with Manchester City's quality and them adding Viviana Miedema to that list as well of attacking
Yeah,
talent, as well to put the defensive talent at the back as well, with the likes of Greenwood now as the captain. It's just it can only go one way, surely.
yeah. You just have to think City have got far too much quality there. They're such a good side, and I completely agree. I think West Ham will really struggle and be down towards the bottom this year. Um, like you say, Palace have started poorly, so whether West Ham finish bottom or just above Palace, I think they'll probably be in the bottom two personally. So yeah, like you say, I can only see this game going one way.
And then the next game on the Sunday, we've got Arsenal versus Everton, 2 o'clock kickoff. Like we said, Everton have not had the best of starts to the season with back-to-back defeats. The 4-0 defeat away to Brighton and a 1-0 defeat at home to Manchester United. But they did perform slightly better last week, Jack.
Yes, yeah, they did. Yeah, they needed to improve because that opening day was really, really bad for them. A big loss against someone you would have expected them to compete with, I would have thought. So yes, they certainly needed that improvement last week. And I think I've gone for them putting in another solid-ish performance. I've only gone 1-0 Arsenal because I actually think Arsenal can be a little bit laboured at times as well. They're maybe not as free flowing as Man City sometimes. So I can't see Everton getting a win, but I'm going to say another improved performance and a dogged 1-0 defeat.
A dogged 1-0 defeat. I've gone for 3-1 to Arsenal. I feel like Everton's vulnerabilities at the back could be exploited quite a bit, but I do agree with you with the fact that Arsenal haven't been as free flowing in the opening two games. They only just scraped that win, didn't they, against Leicester last week? Uh,
Absolutely, yeah, yeah,
there's been lots of
yeah,
question marks, hasn't there, from Arsenal fans on Jonas Eidevall. I know he's won them trophies in the last couple of seasons. I remember right, back-to-back Continental Tires Cup, but I think some of his tactical decisions and team selections at times have been under the microscope and have been questionable, especially when they were in the title race heading towards the latter stages of last season, only to pull away after Christmas with City and Chelsea taking it down to the wire.
yeah. And I think that's the thing, like you say, they fell away towards the end of last season. I think Arsenal fans will really want to see them be involved in a title race to the very end. And Eidevall's been really well backed. He's made a lot of signings. They've spent big money on Russo and others. So I do think Arsenal fans will want to see them getting up there with Man City and Chelsea and being at that similar level, which so far they haven't quite been, I don't think.
And the thing is, they've got the big decision on the goalkeepers, isn't it? Because they've got Zinsberger and Daphne von Doncelar. Zinsberger opening day of the season, goalkeeper, and then Daphne van Doncelar last week in between the sticks, and putting a very, very good performance and some top
Yeah, yeah.
saves.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. It's a nice conundrum to have as the manager when you've got multiple good players in a position. And I think Arsenal will be hoping to go deep in a number of competitions this year, so there will be some rotation, I think. But
From one side of North London to another, it's Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool. In the other game on Sunday, I say the other game, there's two more, this one and Leicester Palace, but we'll touch on the Tottenham one first. 2:15 kick-off at Brisbane Road for Tottenham against Liverpool. Both sides having mixed fortunes in the opening weekend or weekends.
yeah, and both sides who did quite well last season. I mean, Spurs made the FA Cup final. They had a good league campaign. It looked like they finally arrived a little bit, and I think we'll be hoping to kick on this season. And it's the same with Liverpool, really. They look like they finally arrived last season, and we'll be hoping to kick on. So far, Spurs look more likely to do that, unfortunately for Liverpool, because Liverpool had a couple of draws. But yeah, I think this one will be really tight. Two teams in a sort of similar place in terms of their squads and their ambitions at the moment. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw, Liverpool's third 1-1 draw of the season, if I'm correct.
Yeah, you'll be correct. I've gone for a 1-1 draw as well, funny enough, Joe. So, yeah,
Good stuff. Great minds.
great minds speak alike. I think it's with Tottenham and Liverpool as well. They've been a bit of a bogey side, and Liverpool haven't traditionally travelled well to London as well. Last season, we saw that with the draw away to West Ham, and then it repeated itself last week. And last season, Liverpool drew 1-1 in this fixture. It was live on BBC, and I think it was Sophie Roman Hogg got the equaliser for Liverpool that day. And you're looking at I know that Tottenham are massively missing the creative spark of Grace Clinton this season, who was on loan from Manchester United last year, and she's started the season off very, very well for Manchester
Yeah,
United. But I think the players like when they got the likes of Bethany England up front, and you've even got the experience of Martha Thomas as well that can play in that
yeah,
position or just offer as well. Jessica Naz as well is another one with the bright sparks.
yeah. Haley
So
Rasso, yeah. They've got
yeah,
some good
Rasso
players there for sure. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Liverpool
I
also do.
go on. That's
Uh,
okay.
I think Liverpool have been quite susceptible from high balls this season. The two goals that they have conceded have come from balls through the air, and obviously the Leicester finish was a low drive across the keeper, and the West Ham goal last week was a long punt into the box again. So it's those long balls in behind that will probably cause Liverpool problems again, which is strange because last season they were quite good defensively, really. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it's just fatigue or change of
Mm.
system. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, they haven't started great and they haven't
Yeah.
been clinical the other end.
Change of expectations as well now. I think people expect them to go to games and like against West Ham and Leicester and win, which brings pressures that maybe they didn't have last season when it was a bit more sort of happy-go-lucky. We're unexpectedly doing really well, and there's no pressure on us. Whereas this season, people are going to expect a bit more from them.
I expect a bit more indeed. And then obviously the final game of the weekend from the King Power Stadium at 3 o'clock is Leicester City versus Crystal Palace, and this is another game towards which will probably go a long way in the season. I know it's only the third weekend into deciding who can stay up and who will go down. With Leicester City being a side that has been near that trapdoor the last two seasons.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It's too early for it to be a six-pointer, and at the same time, it does feel like a bit of a six-pointer, doesn't it? Um, Palace have started really badly, to be honest. Shipped goals, and Leicester, like you say, have been sort of strugglers. So yeah, it does feel like the winner of this match will take quite a big stride towards safety already, as early as it sounds.
It's mad, isn't it? Like we said, massively mad that Uh, we are only the third week of the season, and Crystal Palace have already shipped, is it 11 goals off the top of my head? They lost 4-0 to Spurs in the opening game and then
Yeah,
7-0 last week. So, yeah, it is mad. It doesn't look good for the goal difference sitting on -11,
no,
but
no.
But Leicester City with the 1 point and on the board and stuff. So, you never know. A bit of a confidence thing. What have you gone for this on this one, Joe?
I've gone for Leicester 2, Palace nil. I thought Leicester were okay against Arsenal. Um, yeah, maybe could have got something out of that. I just think they're going to have a bit more than Palace, I'm afraid. Palace just don't quite look ready for this league so far, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a shame with Palace because they signed some good signings, and then Katie Stengel, as well as an experienced head there at Crystal Palace as well. Done it in the WSL before, obviously at Liverpool and in the States with Gotham.
Yeah, and it's one of those where you think maybe they just need time to gel and to learn the league. But unfortunately, in the Women's Super League, where there's only 12 teams, you don't get an awful lot of time. So that means that teams coming up, it's an upward battle from the start, I think.
Yeah, I agree with the Leicester City result, but I've gone with a 1-0 win to Leicester. Very tight, narrow affair as well. I think, like you said, not being given the time to gel. That begs the question then. Do they continue with their expansive football that they played, which secured them the title last season in the Championship, or do they go and switch tack and go for a more dogged defensive approach, just try to keep things shored up at the back and just try and get a couple of points on the board, let their confidence grow a bit, and then they could try the expansive football? What's your thoughts on that one?
It's a perennial question when teams come up, isn't it? Do they stick with what's got them promotion, or do they sort of face a harsh reality, I guess. Um, I think it's maybe a little bit too early to throw everything out at the minute. They have played two tough fixtures to open the season. I think Spurs not easy, and obviously Chelsea never going to be easy. Um, I think they'll give it a bit of time and see whether they can get some results against teams like Leicester. Um, and yeah, this game, like we've both said, I think will go a long way to deciding how they'll approach the rest of the season.
It's a game that will go a long way to the rest of the season, indeed. It's been a preview for Matchday 3 of the WSL season. Thanks to Joe for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Don't forget
And
to
thank you.
don't forget to like the video, comment below on the Let's Talk Sports, subscribe for more content, and we'll have more previews coming in the coming weeks. And we'll see you all on the channel very soon.